Hi, welcome to the Crypto Republic. Before we dive in, if you're serious about staying ahead in this once-in-a-lifetime financial shift, make sure you like this video, drop a comment, and subscribe to the Crypto Republic. Massive update for the XRP community. What we're witnessing right now isn't just another market pump. This is ignition. The ignition of a wave so large you could define the next 12 years of digital wealth creation, a $3 trillion expansion of crypto utility, and XRP is sitting right at the epicenter. If the last decade was about speculation, the next one's about transformation. And for those who've been patient through lawsuits, suppression, and silence, history may finally be ready to reward them and us. Let's talk about the Great XRP Ignition. In every financial revolution, there's a spark, a single moment when uncertainty flips to inevitability. In the late 1800s, it was the Gold Standard Act that institutionalized trust in paper money. In the 1990s, it was the Telecommunications Act that unleashed the internet and gave rise to Amazon, Google, and eBay. And now in 2025, it's the convergence of digital regulation, tokenized finance, and institutional adoption, what many are calling the digital asset clarity cycle. When the clarity arrives, markets don't just move, they ignite. And this time the torchbearer could be XRP, the calm before the storm. For nearly 12 years, XRP has been the sleeping giant of the crypto markets, trapped under lawsuits, able to security, sidelined by exchanges, but never erased. Like coal under pressure, it's been compressed, refined, and tested by time. Now, with regulatory frameworks being finalized across the United States and Europe, we are staring down what could be the most asymmetrical setup in modern finance. A decade-long consolation ready to flip into decade-long expansion. Think of it like this: the Renaissance after the Dark Ages. Innovation didn't just return, it exploded. And right now, XRP's network metrics, transaction volume, liquidity corridors, institutional partnerships all show the early tremors of a coming eruption. Regulation and utility. The ignition point always starts with clarity. And with the new Digital Asset Market Structure Act and cross-border payment reforms, we're witnessing what could be crypto's version of the 1996 Telecom Act. That law didn't just benefit the internet, it defined it. It gave rise to trillions of dollars, giants of dorm rooms and garages. Today, the same pattern's repeating, this time with digital assets. Because clarity is not about paperwork, it's about confidence, and confidence brings capital. Institutional inflow is already shifting. ETFs, on-ramps, tokenization plots. The same way Amazon started as an online bookstore, XRP is emerging as the backbone of global liquidity, settlement tokenized assets, central bank integration, and enterprise payments. This isn't about hype anymore. This is about infrastructure. The macro picture, let's point to the numbers, okay? According to recent filings, tokenized asset markets could exceed $3 trillion by 2030. Over 80% of the world's largest banks are experimenting with distributed ledger settlement. And RippleNet, the ecosystem powering XRP's rails, is integrated with more than 70% of the world's major payment corridors. We're not talking about a niche coin. We're talking about the plumbing of global finance. Now, here's the kicker. Despite that, XRP's market cap remains under $200 billion. That's roughly 6% of Bitcoin and 8% of Ethereum. But the use case potential, cross-border settlement, tokenized treasuries, institutional liquidity, positions it for exponential compounding growth once clarity lands. History rhymes a lot. If you look back at the Amazon chart from the early 2000s, you'll see the same rhyme. Peak, collapse, consolidation, rebirth. For nearly 7 years, Amazon traded below its all-time high. Sound familiar? XRP has been mirroring that exact behavior for nearly a decade. Amazon broke out in 2010. 12 years later, it had risen over 1,900%. XRP's chart is showing the same base structure, a coiled spring waiting for that spark. The longer the consolidation, the stronger the breakout. This isn't hopium, it's historical symmetry. The institutional wave is coming. In 2025, something deeper is happening behind the scenes. Wall Street isn't fighting crypto anymore, it's absorbing it. From Fidelity to BlackRock, from Citi to BNY Mellon, the same players who once dismissed digital assets are now constructing the rails to profit from them. And when you follow the money, the pattern is unmistakable. Liquidity is shifting from speculation to utility. When institutions enter, they don't chase memes, they chase yield and efficiency. And XRP delivers both. Instant settlement, enterprise-level compliance, energy efficiency unmatched by proof-of-work systems. This is the infrastructure layer that the $3 trillion wave will ride on. This is the ignition sequence. Think of it like a space race. Before launch, there are years of preparation, the quiet phase, the testing, the setbacks. But when ignition happens, everything changes in seconds. Right now, XRP is sitting on that launch pad. The engines, the regulations, adoption, liquidity are all online, and the countdown has begun. When the Clarity Act finally activates and tokenized treasuries move on chain, the first liquidity surge will light the engines. From there, it's exponential. Not a pump, an era. Patience and positioning are key. Here, what most people miss. The biggest gains in financial history don't come from action. They come from patience. When Amazon was trading at $5, most investors had already moved on. When gold was deregulated in 1975, no one wanted it. Yet 5 years later, it had risen 400%. And when Bitcoin was labeled dead in 2018, smart money was accumulating. XRP is at that same psychological pivot point. Retail fatigue, institutional silence, and beneath it all, ignition energy. Sometimes the best move is to sit tight, understand the cycle, and recognize when you're standing at the beginning of a 12-year chapter. Let's look at the macro shift, okay? Let's zoom out for a second. We are moving from a speculative era to a utility era, from meme coins to money rails, from hype-driven pumps to utility-driven expansion. The transition won't happen overnight, but when it does, the world will never go back. And here's the wildest part. The largest financial institutions are already preparing for it. They're building the back-end systems for tokenized treasuries, real-world assets, and on-chain settlement. And XRP is one of the only networks already structured to handle institutional-grade liquidity. This is a repeating cycle. Every generation has its breakthrough moment. In the 1930s, it was the New Deal and the rebuilding of America's economy. In the 1990s, it was the internet and the rise of e-commerce. And in the 2020s, it's the tokenization of value, a complete restructuring of how money moves. The key difference this time, it's borderless. The financial frontier has no walls, and XRP is the bridge between systems that were never meant to connect. That bridge is about to become the most valuable real estate in finance. See the momentum shifting in 2025. This is the year of implementation. 2025 is not the year of speculation. Payment corridors activating in Asia, Europe, and the Middle East. Stablecoins integrating directly into XRP rails. ETFs unlocking liquidity. Pipelines that could flood billions into tokenized assets. This is what a financial ignition looks like. And just like the early internet, the first movers will capture the asymmetric upside before mainstream even realizes what's happened. The next 12 years won't belong to the loudest voices. They'll belong to the most patient, to those who understand cycles, study charts, and respect history, because history is whispering the same message right now. Don't mistake quiet markets for dead markets. We're not in the end phase of a cycle. We're at the genesis of the next one. And XRP, through clarity, utility, and scale, is about to lead. So as we stand here in 2025 on the edge of what could be the largest liquidity transformation in history, remember this: every great wealth shift begins in disbelief. The internet was laughed at, electric cars were mocked, and XRP has been underestimated for over a decade. But history doesn't ask for permission. It rewards conviction. The Great XRP Ignition has begun, and those who recognize it early will not just witness the next 12-year bull run, they will live it. This opened your eyes. Smash that like button, ring the bell, leave a comment with your thoughts, turn on notifications, and most importantly, subscribe to the Crypto Republic, bringing you the truth about XRP, global banking moves, and the wealth transfer already unfolding. Don't just watch history happen. Stay informed, stay ahead, stay in the Republic.